Hello, this is Roger Hayek. You can reach us here at rogerhayek.com or call me here, 805-341-3730. This is our management system. It's used by insurance brokers, property managers, attorneys. It's a turnkey solution, very affordable, very flexible. We can customize it to your needs. Let's start right up here in the corner, hit the plus sign here for the new person, and we're just going to call this person Robert Smith. Go down here and save that. Pretty simple, pretty fast. If you go back in and edit a person, choose their gender as an example and their marital status, when you hit save, it's going to go ahead and make note of all the things that you might do. There you go. So admin support has changed the value from blank to male, blank to married, and so on. And the more you go back and make changes, the more it's going to keep track of things. And it's actually Smythe as an example. I'll give you an example of what happens when you have a change. There you go. So now it's got that from Bob Smith to Smythe, etc. It's nice to keep track of things. You can add policies to a person in your casework. I'm sure you've got policies that have a lot to do with the case. You can keep track of the coverage and so on and so forth. You've got your aspects, which is the relationship to people, places, things, cases, what have you. Notes, you can always make notes about a person. These are the user notes. We have none, and these are all the different types of notes that you might add to the system. And then finally attachments, which is very helpful. If you're going to attach something to a person, you might want to attach their driver's license, social security card, etc. It's just a simple browse and attach. This is a cloud-hosted system. You can have multiple users. Just come in here and boom, you can add another user to your convenience. It's included in the monthly cost. Hosting, secured socket layer, remote hosting is included. There's no software to download or anything. You're just ready to go. So at any rate, Robert Smythe, there he is. You can recall a person just by pulling them up like that. And it's going to also try to pull up anything that might be related. It's a Google search result type system. And the other way you can do it is if you put in person and then choose person. There we go. Choose person from the drop-down list here. Now you're going to search and find all people in the system. So currently we've got 28. This is just a blank database just for demonstration purposes. The great thing is if you put in case, and you search for case. So we only have one case right now, but let's go ahead and add a case. I can show you the system here. So Robert Smith has a case. So we're going to go in here. We're going to add an aspect. That aspect is a case, and he is the plaintiff. So we're going to go ahead and create this plaintiff case, and the plaintiff is Robert Smythe, and then the defendant is going to be John Jones, and court case number if you've got one, date of loss if you've got one, time of loss if you've got one, short description, whatever it might be, detailed, banana peel, and so on. Case status, pretty important. This is great for tracking. So there's already a case in there that's open. So let's go ahead and just say this case is closed, and we're going to save that up. So we're back to Robert Smith, but if you click on aspects and the case, boom, there it is. Now we're looking at the case. And same idea here. If we put in Smythe, now it's going to find Robert Smythe. It's also going to find the case. And so we're all in the case here. There we go. So in this case, of course, you can go back and edit, and it'll keep track of those things. Within the case, we can set up the calendar items. Just hit to-do list, add task, pretty simple, Smythe, deposition, etc., etc. You can just set that up. You can assign it to yourself or others in the office. You know, if you've got a research case or an expert witness that you'd like to have access to the system, pretty simple. You just set them up with a username and password, and boom, they have access. It's like Dropbox, but only a lot more, and it's yours. So that's that. So now on this case we have a plaintiff, and let's go ahead and we're going to add another person. This person is the defendant, and maybe we can find somebody in the system here that's already a defendant. There we go. So now we've got a plaintiff, a defendant, and then of course we can add all sorts of other things to it. So here's plaintiff, defendant, emergency contact, and if you've got other drop-down options, we just go right in and add those for you. We're not going to charge you extra like most programmers just because this is part of your business. It needs to be done. The other things that you can add are case documents, case photos, a company, premises address, a vehicle. Premises address might be plaintiff mailing, defendant mailing. Could be a number of other things. We can add loss location, whatever it might be. But let's look at the case documents. Very interesting one. So we got correspondence, depositions, discovery, expenses, expert material, liens, medical record. Let's go ahead and just add a medical records case documents, and you're just going to say Robert's medical bills. Simple as that. Doesn't need a whole lot of detail, but now you'll see that on the case you've got the aspects of plaintiff, defendant, medical bills. Let's go ahead and put Robert's medical bills next to him. Not that that matters much, and they're always going to be there for you, but that's kind of the idea. And then of course you go into the medical bills and you attach documents here to the medical bills, return to the case aspect, and so on. So that's that. So if we go up here and we type in the word case, and then we choose case, now when we search that, it's going to pull up all the cases. Now this one is open, this one is closed. And so watch what happens here when you sort down. Open, you're going to sort to just your open cases. And then of course closed. And it's going to bring just up it'll search down and sort down to just your closed cases. And then of course we don't have any dismissed cases, but if there were any, it would sort those down here for you. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. This is a nice feature we've got here. It's called System Messages. And if I hit New Message and I put this is an urgent message. There we go. Could give it a little highlighting and bold and maybe make it a little larger, something like that. So let's say you've got a crew of people and you want to make this very obvious for them. You can go ahead and just hit save and schedule, and then whoop, right there at the top of the page on everyone's screen there's going to be that urgent message. Just a nice feature so you can get the word out real quick. Or you can set a reminder for yourself to pop up at a certain given time. That System Messages is not it's not just instant. If you want to say, I want it to pop up May the 11th at 4 p.m. and then sure enough it's going to pop up there at the top of your screen, May 11th, 4 p.m. Really nice feature. That's about it. It's got a lot of functionality, a lot of flexibility. It can be used not just for cases, but business information, claims if there is any, company, departments, insurance companies, details, whatever you need. You can even use it to store your own agreements. We've got agreements in the system, and let's see if we have any agreements here. Yeah, there's an agreement. There we go. So this agreement, it's an expired agreement. It's for a tenant in a building, as an example. Suppose you own some rental property, you want to keep track of your tenants and so on. So of course you can put the lease agreements in here. You could put in photographs, documents, copies of the checks, whatever you need to do. And you can also associate with this lease agreement here the person that's on the lease agreement. So this agreement type is a construction agreement, a lease agreement. Let's call this a lease agreement for Unit 7, and the tenant being Pet Pals, and that starts May and ends May 19, and so on and so forth. We're going to save that up, and yeah, of course they have pets. They're a tenant. They're a pet store. Anyway, evidence of insurance received. Yep, we got the evidence of insurance. So you get the idea with this software system. It's just a very flexible, simple, easy to use software system. There's not a lot of learning with it once you get the hang of the fact that each of these tables of data can relate to another table of data, and so on and so forth. We've got this person, we want to relate them to their sibling, and we create another person and sibling person. There we go. So now this person is always going to be associated with the other person. And there he is, sibling person. You reverse it. Here's the sibling person related to the one we started with. That's it in a nutshell. So if you're interested, give us a call. Several $100s to get the thing installed for you, and anywhere from $60 to $100 per month for hosting, which includes the secured socket layer, training, hosting, cloud hosting, remote cloud hosting. Again, no software to install, and very fun, easy to use. Thanks for watching.